Brittany from Imagine This, a music and art studio for both adults and children. And today we are going over Art 1's lesson, and we will be doing a very fun Easter activity. So what we will need, we will be providing you with an egg, some tissue paper, and then we hope that you have these supplies at home, but if not, we can accommodate for that. I have a spray bottle of water, or you can just use your hands. And then we have a second activity, and I will go over those supplies after doing the first activity. But before we begin, I just want you to know that there are no mistakes, only happy accidents, and that everybody's egg is going to turn out different because you are all your own artists. So let's get started. So first thing I did was I found the pieces of tissue paper, the colors that I liked, and they are mostly blues and reds and pinks, and I tore up just small little pieces of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place these pieces onto the egg randomly. You can rip them smaller, or if you want to be more precise and cut them, you're free to do that as well. But I'm going for a little bit more of a loose, fun, abstract shape. Now as I'm going along, I am going to also start spraying bits of it, and because of the coloring within the paper, it should start to seep into the egg itself, since this is a paper egg. So I'm just going to start doing that as well. Do not hold it super close, but give it a little bit of distance to spray. If you don't have a spray bottle, again, you can use your hand, get it wet, and gently pat the egg. Not soaking wet, but just enough that you can see it start to soften the paper. I'm just going to add a little bit more on top while it's still wet to help bond it to the egg, or stick to the egg. And you'll notice that some of the color will drip a bit, so this is a little messy, but not too much. Cleaner than other egg decorating methods. All right, I'm just going to give it one more good squirt. All right, I'm just going to give that a few seconds to sit on there before I start peeling off the tissue paper. We'll see what it makes. Now it has a very light pastel kind of look to it, so don't be too disappointed if it comes out a little bit lighter than you expected, just because tissue paper is a lighter paper. It doesn't hold nearly as much pigment as other papers. But there you have it, a very cool kind of watercolor effect that came off of the tissue paper. All right, and now we're going to move on to the next activity. So for this next activity, what you will need some vinegar. And you can use vegetable oil or baby oil, whatever oil you have around the house. Some food coloring. And then we will provide you with an egg, some disposable cups. Have a few different ones so you can have different cups for different colors. And then I have some gloves for myself, but if you have a spoon, you can take out the egg using that. And then you can also use the spoon for stirring. I have a wooden stick. And you're also going to need some sort of towel, whether it be a paper towel or a regular towel. Paper towels you can throw away though, and your towels will be stained, just to let you know. But let's get started. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to put about a tablespoon of both vinegar and baby oil or vegetable oil into each of these cups. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. Okay, so now that I have a tablespoon of each of the baby oil and the vinegar within all of my cups, what I'm going to do is put a different color of food dye into each one of these. It can be any colors you want. We have a bit of a fancier set here, but just the 4 set at Walmart works just as great. So I'm just going to do that really quickly as well. All right, so next thing you're going to want to do is for the first color you're going to use, you want to take your spoon or your utensil. You want to take that color and start swirling it in the cup, just to make sure that's evenly distributed. But as you're doing that, you're going to grab your egg as well. Make sure that the liquid is still stirring, because you want it to be really stirring to create a marbled effect on your egg. All right, so I'm just going to stir that a little bit more. Then I'm going to drop my egg inside, and because it is made of paper, it's going to be a little floaty. I'm just going to push that in there. Maybe continuing stirring around the egg. After about 10 seconds of tossing this around in here, what you can do is you can take your spoon, but since I don't have a spoon, I'm going to put on some gloves and take it out and place it on my towel right here. All right, so you notice there's some beading of colors on there that kind of gives it a shiny marbled effect. What we can do is we can let it sit and dry, and once it's dry, we can dip it into another color as well. So once I have the egg out, as I'm placing it on my towel or paper towel, I'm just going to start patting it a bit to get off some excess oil and to really get that pigment to stick onto this egg. Now at first it's not going to seem like there's a whole lot, but once you do a ton of different colors, those colors are really going to build up and they're going to be more easily seen on the egg. So now that I've patted it dry, I'm going to try it in another color, and I'll show you in just a second what that looks like. And again, you're just going to want to stir that, really see the color swirling around. All right, and once it's all nice and swirly, like a hurricane, I'm going to put my egg down in there. Because it is a paper egg, it's going to float a little bit, but just push it down with your spoon. Keep working at it. If it doesn't look like the color's getting on there, add more food coloring, which I'm going to do right now. Alright, so this is what you're going to end up with. Now the more time you give it to dip in and the more coloring you have, of course your egg's going to look a little bit different, but you should have sort of a cool kind of sketchy coloring book look to your egg. But overall, that's how you do that. Just a fun little science experiment for your eggs. We'd love to see your pictures online, and have a good day.